Hello, Carol.
Awesome. At first I thought my freaking
Not getting
comments
bit.
weren't gonna work.
I'm not getting bit. Not happening. Go away.
Well, hey everybody, if you're watching the repost, the replay, then comment throughout it, and we will respond to all the comments. Cheyenne and I look at them diligently. But hey, Angel, and hey, Carol.
Hello, ladies. Dad, you didn't shut the door all the way.
How is everyone doing? Give me my mouse.
Gonna give it a few moments to let a few more people pop on before we start.
Thankfully, my computer's already up and running, so we don't have that problem.
Hoping my phone charges a little bit quicker so I can get a better angle on my phone.
You don't want to be just the top of your head. Hey, we have almost your full face this time. We have an upgrade. So I can see comments, but my phone doesn't let me see how many people are watching.
I think I'm seeing comments as long as the last comment you've seen is
Hi,
Carol
Angel.
saying hi, Angel.
Yes. Yep. I know Carol's here and I know Angel's here.
I, however, cannot see if who like the amount of viewers we have.
Phone, not my phone. My computer will probably tell me.
How do you not die? Sorry, mosquitoes.
You're good.
I told you I don't want to get eaten. It's not
Oh
happening.
yeah, those mosquitoes. My computer doesn't want to tell me either. So that's
I can't
sorry.
check anything on my
Serenity is now
computer.
here, so I think we have 3 people. I think I can see. I think I can, because it pops up
Mine
when.
says one person, so
Oh, it's a lie. Well, hey, Serenity.
I'm gonna.
Oh no, mosquito. We don't get them here. I wish we didn't get mosquitoes here. Me and Cheyenne both keep getting eaten up by mosquitoes. Even though we're not anywhere near each other, locationally, we're still both getting eaten a lot. Mine
Breakfast,
says
lunch,
one person
dinner.
too. Yeah, I think Facebook is just being mean because clearly you and Carol combined are more than one. So Facebook is just being a little weird.
I'm gonna give it until my dad leaves, so that way less noise, and then I'll start the intro.
Okay.
I do apologize. Usually my road is not busy.
Well, we're glad to have everybody that's here. Hopefully everybody's excited. We got a lot of fun things to actually show during this live. We actually have stuff to show you. Exciting.
I just remembered that I don't have one deck that I needed, and I'm not running in the house
I
for
was
it.
about to say, are you gonna sprint away or are we doing without? I got a lot of examples here, so I can.
Good,
I
because
hope
I'm
that
gonna need you to use it for
there's.
one section.
I was about to say I do only have like 2 oracle cards, so if you don't have your oracle deck, we're screwed because that's not something I have.
I got that.
Good. I haven't had the other stuff.
Hello, Story. All right. Welcome back, ladies, and welcome to those who are new, just starting out, learning. We are excited to have you back and to actually be on time this time. So, I mean, I was a few minutes late starting, but hey.
We were here. Today we are introducing other divinations. A lot of people have been requesting to include other divinations, so we are listening. Today is all sorts of divination, card-wise, paper-wise cards. So we have oracle, cardomancy, affirmation cards, and some additional cards. So in just a second, Cheyenne's going to go over some of the feedback from our last program. But I will say that we didn't have very many people in the last program, but don't feel like you have to be super far along in your tarot reading or your card reading journey in general to join the partnership. You can have just started reading or you can have been reading for a long time. There is no like requirement for that. As long as you're putting your heart into it, then that's all that.
We're here to help you grow. The program has brought a lot of people out of their shells. We've definitely seen a lot of really positive feedbacks. And me seeing it from being here from the very beginning of teaching this, I can say going from the more traditional style tarot that everybody knows and loves to use to trans yeah,
Transitioning?
yeah, thank you. Transitioning into the non-traditional tarot, it's kind of exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to bringing additional decks to you guys. Some of our feedback, we are overall pleased with how everything went with this partnership. Everyone had great communication with their partners, had a lot of joy this time around.
Carol says she's been
Um,
using cards for 4 years.
oh, cards are fun. It does excite me to see such positive feedback for everyone. Even if you struggled, you still were able to have an overall positive experience. So that was really cool to see. And we see that a lot in each feedback that we've been getting now. So that's uplifting to me. I hope that's uplifting to everybody else to help you guys see, like, hey, I may not know it really well. Sorry. I may not know it really well, but I can learn. I can learn. I just need that confidence. I need a boost. And I was personally excited to see that the different themes help. And I look forward to continuing that with future lives and future partnerships because I also feel like it helps give you a little more of a direction. And I can promise you, some of these themes might be a little out of the box by the time I'm done coming up with themes because me and Sarah are one and the same, and we are odd ones. So be prepared.
I will definitely say we have a literal whole document of future plans. We are having so much fun. We love the fact that people are like being interactive, enjoying the partnership because it's so much more fun when you get to like do that interactive reading. You get to lean on other people. They're there for support in ways that you didn't even think to ask, but they were just there and it was just really nice. So it's like a nice little community and little moment that's happening.
Some feedback that we had received, and I swear if you land
She's
anywhere
getting
near me, I
them
was gonna kill
mosquitoes.
you. They're the itty bitty tiny ones that unless you are truly focusing on,
The
you can't
gnats?
see them.
Uh,
They drive me.
hey
They're the
Haley
ones
and hey
eating me.
Caitlin. We got some more people in.
Hello, Haley. Hello, Caitlin.
We are just getting into it. You haven't missed anything. We're just going over the last program.
Yippers. Okay, so some feedback that we were given was that you guys liked using your intuition completely on the number of cards and the reading, and being able to do a video call with your partner made the experience extra fun. That's really cool. I'm glad you guys got to do a video call and that it worked out very well for you guys. I'm glad you got to show your layout. That was another one that was said. Somebody else said that they felt really connected, which awesome. That's what we are looking for. We're looking for you guys to build that connection and really bond with whoever you're trying to read with, because that's how you're going to give them the best messages and the right messages for them.
Hey Roxanne.
And another person wrote, absolutely, I love more from my, I learn more, love more, learn more, sorry, um, from my partner each time and gain valuable experience. It pushes me to reach into relying more on my skill and less on the books, and I have adored all of my partners.
Hey, Catherine.
Hello, Catherine. Hello, Roxanne. One person said they struggled, and that all was mostly because they weren't trusting in themselves and leaning on their intuition. Um, that's gonna keep going and get better the further you push yourself and the more confidence you grow throughout the partnership program. And I hope that you stick with it and keep pushing yourself, because I'm looking forward to hearing your experiences. I read these feedbacks all the time. I like looking back on the old feedbacks and seeing how everybody has progressed thus far. I
So,
find it amusing, and
Carol,
it's awesome.
let me answer that question for you, Carol. So this is not necessarily a part two. We are in a tarot series, and each one of these lives can be watched independently from themselves. But after each live, we do a little tarot partnership where if you want to sign up, you can group up with another person. We randomly group you and you do a reading. So on our next tarot live, we're going to go over the partnership, but then we have just regular talk about the tarot stuff. So we're just doing our little bit of feedback from our last partnership, and then we're going to get into the main informative, chatty part of the live, which you can take away from with or without the partnership. And then at the very end, we'll discuss what our next partnership is going to be. So you didn't necessarily miss the first part, but there is a series, and we do encourage you going and watching them, but they can be watched out of order just fine.
No
And Angel said she'll be
worries,
right back.
Angel.
If that doesn't, if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in there. We'll answer them.
Absolutely. Everybody said that they had excellent communication from their partner and got a reading. And the nobody had said that there was anything that we needed to add to the partnership program other than giving more opportunities. So that was awesome. That means that you can see that we are listening. We are hearing you guys, and
We read every piece of feedback and we really take that in and we will change things. Like if we've already had something planned and someone says some feedback, we'll change it and we'll add that in to make sure people get what they're asking for.
yep, because we want to make sure that you guys know that we're here for you and to learn in all aspects. And if you want to learn a certain topic, drop that in the feedback, because we can pull that topic and we'll be like, okay, how can we incorporate it into this live? Um, everybody said, sorry, everybody said that they had an overall great or fantastic or excellent experience. So awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm very happy to hear that. This is better and positive feedback than what we got before. That to me shows that me and Sarah really explained everything well in the live before the partnership, and that you guys really could understand what was going on and what we were portraying to you guys to push yourselves further in your readings.
Okay, and then so things to work on to make this program better. We just got requests for more divination styles, and we are listening. That is what our live is today. It is about incorporating different divination styles, and then we have a little bit more for all those people asking about divination styles that Cheyenne will get into in just a second. And then it was also someone mentioned that it would be cool incorporating doing multiple decks, and your wish has been granted. That is literally today's live. It couldn't have been more perfect. So both of those requests, they have been met.
Absolutely. All right. So we are going to begin our 3-part mini-series of including other divinations. Tonight, we are going to be talking about part 1 of this mini-series. Sorry, I always love doing the bunny whiskers.
No, it's okay. I was smiling at the comments. Carol said she got it, and you're welcome. Here to answer any questions. And Catherine said, "Eek!" Now I'm scared.
Don't worry, because the partnership is going to. Oh, thanks, Mom.
It's going to be accessible for even if you don't have other divination styles, so that way, like, you can work with whatever you have.
Right
So we
there.
have like accessible for both. We have like a regular prompt, and then we have that extra challenge that you don't have to take.
Hold on, guys. Bear with me. My mom brought me the deck that I needed.
Awesome.
Dude.
Thanks, Cheyenne's mom. So then after we do this live, we're gonna come back in September, and then we're gonna expand a little even more on working with multiple decks, working on card shuffling and pulling, and then October we're gonna hit it back with some more divination, and we will also do some more divination in November. So we got plans.
So then our second part of our sorry, I was reading Catherine's comment. It popped up as I happened to look over.
Hey Beth.
Hey,
And yes, Catherine, we know you're here for the challenge.
the second part, we are looking at adding runes and wax readings. Gosh. Bone readings, and Sarah would like to add her own personal twist to a style that she partakes in. I
Not
know very little.
often, but
No, I lie. I know a lot about it. I don't own one, and my mom will murder me if I bring one into the house.
yeah, we're gonna hit that October on the head with the spooky nails. We're gonna come at you with the Ouija board. We're gonna come at you with the bones. We're gonna come at you with the wax readings, with the runes. We're bringing the spooky town for October. It would be fitting.
Now, let me clarify. This is just other types of divination to add to tarot readings so that you can add a type of clarity to your readings or bring some kind of deeper meaning to the reading that you're doing for yourself or somebody else.
All paired with tarot. And the reason we have like adding multiple in um is so that way if there's like one that you're like, no, I don't do that divination, then that live can still be relevant to you because it's just a small part and it's still fun to hear about, even if it's not something that you would partake in doing.
Catherine private messaged me about those, you know what, the staves, and we'll talk. I can't pronounce. I'm not even trying. We're gonna leave it at that.
That's right. No boards in this house. She agrees with your mom, Cheyenne. They're holding firm on that. And then Carol said, yeah, she had the guess. You knew. I can't wait until October when I can show you mine. It's beautiful. We'll get there. And
then part 3, which will be in November, we are gonna add in pendulum, dowsing rods, and dice. We might add more. We're still working on compiling things and seeing where we can go with it. Any runes, Catherine.
I didn't want to interrupt you, Sissy. We were right there on that exact same brainwave. That was nice. But yeah, so that's pretty much just the sum up of last program, and then a little bit of show you to what's to come, so you can be excited with us. And now we are going to get into boom, today's chunk, today's live, introducing more cards. I'm gonna pass the mic.
All right. So tonight we are going to start by introducing more card types. We're going to go over Oracle decks, brief summaries. We're going to give you an idea of what they are and how to add them to tarot.
Yeah, this is combining them with tarot. So
I want to make sure that I reiterate that throughout for this live because I don't want to confuse anybody that we are going over these decks to use them separately and blah blah blah. No, do your own research or look for any other type of lives that other people put up for them. Outside of that, this is just to add them to tarot.
Yeah, definitely not an end-all be-all. I would definitely, like, if you don't know anything about, for instance, Oracle, then I would definitely go research on that before adding it. But we're just talking about how to add it, and that's why we put so many different types, so that way it can reach out to whatever people use, because there's so many different. And then if you want to read the rest of that list, you can.
Yeah. Astrology, moon cards, crystal herb tea, what we consider booster cards because they are cards that we don't have a name for at all,
We'll
literally.
explain that later too.
They legit don't have a name. Affirmation and additional decks, as well as cartomancy and a very annoying bug.
So that's the overlook of all the different types of cards we're going to talk about. But like I said, pretty brief with each section, but it's how to use it with tarot. All right.
All right, so diving right in, Oracle. What are they? Oracle cards are open themed cards that give an insight. They tend to have guidebooks with them that have affirmation prompt questions hidden below the meaning of each card. They are open-ended structured, as each deck is unique to who creates them. They are mostly motivational and prompt you to reflect on their messages. Before I move any further, since Sarah was already popping them on. Hello,
I
Jody.
wasn't going to talk about them yet. I was just doing something so that way my face wasn't just so weirdly sitting there.
No, you're good.
Yours is the best. I love yours. That's like my favorite Oracle deck I've ever seen. All the spotlight on Cheyenne for this moment. Hey, Jody, we're so glad to see you. Carol said, sorry, I'm excited to do any. Do you guys have a... oh my god, so sorry, I can't read. Do any of you guys have a Season of the Witch cards? I have Maven and Samhain. No, but those sound
No, but they sound amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, those sound nice. Oh my gosh, listen to the end. You can totally use that deck. That so fits what we're gonna say. Okay, Carol, you just stole the spotlight for like the end. You're gonna love that whenever you hear it. So,
This is my
those cards are so
metaphysical cannabis oracle deck. I'll go into these a little bit more further. I just wanted to show this because this is one of my favorite oracle decks.
It's so pretty.
The illustrations are beautiful on it. It has so much energy. Anywho, why? Why add Oracle to Tarot? Well, Oracle cards can add clarification and to your tarot reading and that to that specific card or cards, depending on like if you pulled two cards and those two cards went together and you just need more clarification on them, pull an oracle card that could give you a little bit more clarity on that topic there. Or you're pulling one for an entire read, or you can get attacked by bugs. Conclude a tarot reading with an oracle card as well.
A nice way to like add that sum up sometimes. It's like a real nice like bow on top of that present.
Yeah, they can because they're usually more of an uplifting or very truth telling kind of card. So they really hit hard no matter which aspect they're being used in. And they really, depending on your oracle deck that you're using, like I said, I'll show you multiples of mine then. But depending on what oracle deck you're using, you're going to get a different message. So that's why adding different oracle decks to your tarot readings can bring an insight in many different ways and clarity in many different ways. How? You can bring oracle cards at the beginning of the tarot reading. Before you pull your tarot card, shuffle your oracle deck, pull a card or a couple. Remember to keep your question in mind and refer back to the oracle or oracles as you are drawing your tarot cards.
I was
How
going to answer that in a
exactly?
minute, by the way. I was going to let you get through that, and then I'll answer.
Go ahead.
Okay, so to see how getting if into tarot is for you, I would say if you're feeling a call to it, like if you're like wondering, hey, is tarot for me? That's already to me kind of like a seedling. And so maybe you can meditate on it. You could see if something else is pulling towards you. But if you're already getting that inkling, then I would dig a little more into it. Maybe start watching videos on it, start doing some research, meditate on it, think about it when you're in the shower, stuff like that. And if you feel called to it, you do not have to wait for someone to gift you a deck. You can get a deck yourself. You can make a deck yourself. And so if you feel like it's it for you, then just try it out. And if you try it out and you're like, no, this is not for me, then you can try something else, and that's totally fine. And then Catherine was talking about the Urban Crow Oracle deck, and then Carol was saying she doesn't have that one, but she's seen it. And we got a lot of hearts. So whoever did that, thank you.
I have
so cute.
More cards on the way too. I got like 3 or 4 new decks on the way, so
Also,
I'm
Beth,
super excited.
Beth, if you have any more questions, you can private message me or Cheyenne, by the way, and we'll totally talk to you if you want.
She can private message you, or she can just tell me in the house.
Oh, I don't know who that was. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh my gosh. Run away. I didn't read the last name. Well, I wouldn't message. Well, maybe if you message her, you might get to her faster. I don't know what her response
highly
time is like.
doubt it. I
No.
highly doubt it.
Cheyenne is,
This woman does not answer her phone.
You either respond so fast or so slow. One or the other.
Y'all are just like, yeah, respond.
I'm just
okay.
I'm just picking at you. I'm just picking at you.
No. But on a serious note, as I continue, during your I spelled a lot of things wrong. I'm so glad I can read.
It's okay. I knew we would get
during the reading that you are doing, you can pull an oracle card, as I said, to get clarification. At the end of your tarot reading, you can shuffle your oracle deck and pull one or a couple to wrap up the reading, receive further clarity, advice, or confirmation for the reading. Remember, though, more cards doesn't necessarily mean a better read. You are encouraged to pull as many cards as you like when you are doing your reads, but keep in mind pulling too many cards could muddy the messaging and confuse things further. I can't speak.
Oof. I just got stuck on my table. There we go. I crossed my leg in a bad way. I almost knocked it down.
This is
now we're gonna
another one of my decks.
These examples.
Again, I will have more decks to show you guys by the next live in September because they should be here within 2 weeks. Most people know this deck. I have a pull to it mostly because of the fact that it has to deal with the moon phases, but it also goes into like the eclipses, the moons in the different zodiacs. So it gives you a lot of astrological pinpoints and information on that aspect. And I feel that can be a big help in tarot, especially if you're trying to get more astrological information to somebody in their read.
What is
I
the
know
name
a
of
lot
that
of
one?
people do that.
What was the name of that one again?
This one is my Moonology Oracle deck.
Awesome. I just knew that sometimes it pops up backwards, so I felt like if you said it, that would be helpful for anybody that saw it and like.
Yeah, you're
Because
right
I was like, shoot, I can't read that, so I was like, let
You're
me
right
get her to
though.
say it.
I also love that inside this box, I know this is completely random and I'm going to turn my phone around for this. But inside the box on the lid, this is the saying that's
Oh,
inside there.
that's pretty. I love it when boxes have the decoration on the inside.
And just in case, because I know it definitely turned around
Oh, see,
backwards.
that's so much better. That's so much better. I'm gonna pull my phone down for a second too. When you're done showing yours off.
This is the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle deck that I was showing you guys previously. Bear with me. I'm not even going to take all of them out at this point, but this deck is absolutely stunning.
That's the one that I really like. I haven't really seen your moon one very much, but that one is so pretty. I love how vibrant the colors are, and like you can just find so much in the cards.
You can find a lot of information just by looking at one card. I absolutely adore this deck. This deck was one of the few decks that really, really called out to me. And honestly, I prefer to do my reads with this deck before I do it with an Oracle or a Tarot deck anymore.
I do not own an Oracle deck, but I keep, so every card that someone sends me, I keep because I find it very interesting, and a lot of times I resonate with some of the cards. This was the first one that I got sent. It does not have the deck name on the back of it, but you can you can like take screenshots of cards and put them through Google, and it tells you what deck they're from, so that's very convenient. And then here's another one. And I thought this one was really great. Pretty much like maybe like a week before I became a crone, I like got this in the mail, and then there was like a post for people to become like an admin or a crone, and then I was like, dude, that was pretty awesome. So I love that. And so those are my 3 little oracle cards that I have to show you.
I will say that my Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle deck is set up the same way tarot cards are set up. It has a major arcana and a minor arcana, but the messages from them are different than tarot. I just thought that was a really cool fun fact about these ones.
I touched my camera with my grimy little fingers, so I felt like I left oil on it.
No, you're good.
Awesome. So that was pretty much our oracle chatter. So now we're gonna hop into what we're gonna call booster cards. And yes, I just pulled that name out of my butt, so don't like think that it means anything. If you like the term, you can totally use it. You can have it. But that's what I'm gonna call them. They're kind of they're pretty much still oracle cards. Like most of them would be considered oracle decks. Some aren't, but most would be. But they're cards that I feel are like got like a little bit of a different vibe than oracle cards. And what I mean by those are like crystal decks. Like for instance, like here we go, crystal cards. You see, like they don't say oracle. The decks don't usually have them labeled as oracle, but they give kind of oracle vibes. And then some of them are labeled as oracle. So I don't really know. So that's why we call them a booster card, because Cheyenne and I both were like scouring the internet. I was literally watching like YouTube videos with like 5 views, trying to see if maybe just anybody had an opinion on this. And man, I don't know. So I was like, what about booster cards? And Cheyenne liked that. I was giving like a little bit of Pokemon vibes there, but that's okay. So I'm thinking like crystal decks, herb decks, different like decks that have like tea recipes, meditations, spells. So stuff that gives like that oracle vibe, but maybe more like informative, or maybe provides like an activity or something. And the reason why I would say to add these is because adding them to your reading, similar to oracle, but a little different, it can find something to like pair along with your reading. Like for instance, if I was doing a card reading and I got this crystal card, which is malachite, then maybe I would like think that this something to do with how the stone usually is could be playing an effect into my reading. Like, let's say there's a lot of turbulence in my card reading, and then I draw this card. This is going to like sort of pair into that tarot reading. Catherine says more educational and practical knowledge. Yes.
Yes.
And then sometimes like activity-based cards, because like for instance, like here's this tea card, and this card has a little tea recipe to like do up. So maybe if you pulled a reading and you got this card, like let's say you had a healing reading and then you had this card with it. Okay, well maybe when you're doing your healing meditation that your cards are recommending, maybe you try adding in this tea. So it's just something to like expand upon your readings with, and maybe to have things to try out in your craft or new things to like learn along with. The crystal decks will let you know what crystal you may need for the day. And is what
Yes.
Jody said, yes. And
Just
then,
like chakra cards. I do
yeah,
apologize for the noise in the background.
yeah. So those are all the types of cards we're like talking about in there. She said, would spell decks be in this category? Well, since this category is something that I just made up called booster cards, I was considering spell cards in there. I actually have like, for instance, I have a moon spell card for an example. I have a money spell card, and I have an
I think
everyday
we got
spell card.
this from almost the same
Yeah,
day.
mine's got a little butterfly in the back, and then I have this other one that is literally a spell jars, and it gives little spell jars that you could make. And so yeah, I put them in the same category as that. But like I said, we don't have like an official name for that category. There very well could be an official name, and I just don't know it. But so I'm just putting that out there that I made up that term booster cards. I've never seen a spell deck that's cool. I don't have one. Okay, so all of these random cards I'm picking up are cards that people have sent me. Like, I do not have any of these decks. I have a couple decks back there that I'll show you when we get to them. How could you add these into tarot? And I would say adding one in with a regular reading when you feel called. You could use multiple different ones from different decks. You could add in one booster card with your tarot reading. You could just draw one standalone and draw one tarot card standalone for like a daily pull is how you could add them together. And then you could have them pulled along as like a physical representation. Like for instance, let's say I didn't pull this card, but I specifically rummaged through the deck for this Malachite card and I set it down while I was doing my tarot reading. I could use this as a physical representation of Malachite if I didn't actually have a piece of it, in my opinion. But I feel like that would be a way that you could use them. Just like, let's say you had like a deck that had like different elements or whatever, you could pick up that card, and I feel like you could put it down in front of you and look at that energy to like call towards when you're doing a regular tarot reading. And then obviously, like on their own, they can be like a really low effort daily magic. Like Jody said, you could pull the crystal deck to just see what crystal you might need along the day. And if you would like to chatter about them, and then I'll show off the cards when you're done.
Booster cards can help bring insight or deeper connection to your reading. Maybe that booster card you picked for the day is you needed to hear it and you didn't realize it. It can also enhance or set the tone for the reading as a whole. Maybe bring a little bit more light to a darker reading. I don't own any specific decks. Everything that I'm going to show you was given to me mostly for my birthday, from my birthday cards, some from pen pals. Like, I'm going to actually turn my camera around so that we can read.
Yeah, I found turning the camera around shows them much better.
We got this one. The peace I seek resides within me. Got today I'm respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. As we were talking about, I also have a spell card. Mine's a sunrise spell. This actually came with a birthday card, which I thought was really neat. I'm not going to read all of those tiny little things. I figured I'd hold it up long enough so you guys can pause it. I got like these little cards.
I have a tiny one, but I have mine in my affirmation category.
This
But
one
that's definitely
talks about the goddess Gaia. If I pronounced that right, I do, or didn't, I do apologize. Another little card that was given to me, Eclipse, Celebrate Cycles. I thought this was funny because this one came in. Haha, nice.
Yeah.
This one came in during the eclipse, the solar eclipse, so I thought that was really neat. This here, I have to. Sorry, I kept the thing on the back because it was a birthday card. It came from one of these,
Yeah.
and it's Abundance Grape, and it was. They pulled this just for me on my special day, and I wasn't supposed to look at it until my birthday. I thought that was really neat. This isn't exactly a oracle card, but I've gotten a tarot hangman one. And like I've also gotten the wish. Here's another one. Get lost in a dream. Haha, that's cute. Those are just some little. Now, some of that. Oh wait, I missed one. I missed a whole one. This one was a really neat one. I
Oh,
got
that's pretty.
this out of a Christmas card.
Oh, dude, hold on. I literally just showed the exact same bat. Do we have like a bunch of the same ones? There we go.
Nice.
Nice. We did not plan that. Like that just happened. So cool. Here's mine. Oh yeah, I should probably hold it this way. So, see, we got petrified wood. I actually keep this next to a piece of petrified wood on my sorting hat. And then here's this one. Backs are those ones are like. And then we have the malachite one I'm using for an example. And then let's zoom over here. We have this little one. Actually, I love these. These are like my favorite things. When people send me them, like they will forever be like in my like altar space. Like they're all behind me. I have like random tarot ones, but I didn't pull any of the tarot ones, to be honest. I was just showing the different ones. I'll show the tarot ones in another live. Oops. And then let's see, we have this money a day. Not money a day, moon tea. Oh my gosh. And then here's this ring of power, and this is talking about charm bracelets. And then this one is talking about clarity and fusion. So yeah, like little everyday spells. Those ones are pretty nice. And then here's this little spell jar one. That's what that one looks like. And then this is the tea one. This is what we got going on with this one. And then we have this, which this one is a planets one. And see, this is where this like rubs me oracle, but I don't know if it's an oracle deck. But if it's not, it definitely gives me oracle vibes. And then this one is houses.
I love those cards.
Yeah, I don't know what deck this is from. I could probably Google it very easily, but these are very pretty. Someone sent me those. So those are my examples of what I would consider my booster cards. Right. Next, we're going to head into this affirmation.
Up next, we have for you affirmation cards. And if you just give me a second, because I don't want to make these fall onto the ground. I want to move these out of my way for a second. Here we go. All right. What are affirmation cards? Affirmation cards are cards with messages written on them meant to inspire, encourage, empower, or provide insight and provide, not or, sorry. Why incorporate them into tarot? Well, incorporating affirmation cards in with tarot can bring enhanced insights, serve as a balancing act, and help with personal growth. They can serve as a positive spin to a more difficult reading, soften the impact of intense tarot cards, and bring empowering statements to help support your personal growth. Take a breath. How to use them with tarot? Before I get into that, first thing you should keep in mind, not every tarot and affirmation deck will pair well together. They won't. They don't always vibe well. So trust your intuition when you are picking your tarot and affirmation decks. Make sure that you get the same vibe and
I
the
would say
vibe
the
that you're
same with any
going
of the
for.
decks. Not like same thing with like Oracle and the other ones. Like they will not all vibe.
Exactly. Um, and always make sure you're setting your intention and creating your safe space that you're planning to do your read in. This goes for everything as a whole. I wanted to put that way back in the beginning, but I put it way up here, so I
That's
wanted to make
okay.
sure I touch base on this.
I will say using each one of the cards is very similar in method, and that's why we wanted to put them all together in the same video because it's very similar in method. Each one has a little bit of its own twist because it is its different thing, but it's relatively similar in ways to use them.
Yes. When using affirmation cards with tarot readings, they bring depth, positivity, and clarity. They can clarify the tone and message of your reading. Each combination has a unique message and brings a new way to make your tarot practice more personal and insightful. Um, how to pull on your own. You can pull them on your own one at a time or multiple. Write the affirmations down and journal on them throughout the day or meditate on them. You can pull them in the morning, afternoon, or evening. Use them to set your intentions for the day, week, or month. Or you can pull them during a meditation to see where you should focus your energy. You can use them to motivate you to act on your goals, increase your focus and concentration, improve positive self talk, reduce negative thoughts and increase positive ones, improve self confidence and self belief, and influence your subconscious to accessing new belief patterns.
Overall, I would say affirmation cards really add like that like that's like oh my god, like a nice little hug from a friend after your tarot reading. Sometimes the reads can be a little aggressive, and that might be a time to add an affirmation card. Maybe if your reading is already like super like affirmation in general, you might not need to add one, or maybe you want to add one to see if it like looks the same both ways. Or like I said, if a card reading, maybe you're doing a reading for someone else, and it's like a little aggressive and you feel like it's just the card being like super mean, being like, oh, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. Adding in like a nice card is a nice way to like tie that in with a nicer bow for delivery.
Yeah, like you could be dealing with hard truths of being told you need to work on your shadow self, you're not giving yourself enough um, time, and that reading is going, you're feeling like that heavy feeling of that read, and you pull this card, which I've already shown forwards
Dude, do we have
right
the
there.
same card?
Yes, I have two of them apparently.
Nice. I figured I would just slowly show these as you chatted, since there's not much to say about these cards. So I was just gonna
I already
slowly peek at them.
shown most of mine. The only other one that I want to touch on out of my decks, as I'm trying to avoid being.
See, there's even light-hearted ones. Anybody who knows this reference before I turn the card over, you're awesome. You're fabulous. Not like the card's not a reference, but like the font is. This is a Mean Girls deck.
Yes, it is. I was
I don't
just
have
going to say that is Mean Girls all day long.
I don't have the deck obviously, but definitely super cute. This Forgive Yourself, like that one's nice. I put that one like that's up top, like on my thing where I can view it very easily. This one's from the same deck. I Will Love Myself. Oh, that's from the same deck too. W. I didn't know that. So I'm pretty sure those two are from the same deck. And then I have this little one that Cheyenne has the similar one, but mine says Control. Link your own constellations and take control. Like, dang, got me. But like, so
I feel
it's
you.
totally fetch. Yes, Catherine, thank you.
This is a mix between an oracle and affirmation deck. There's 50 cards to it. It gives this is the book references, like it gives you like ideas and different ways to add it to your card, like readings, how to use them on their own. It also gives you ways to incorporate them into rituals and spell work. These cards are different. They are a really pretty deck, though. I will say I'm very in love with the pictures. You can get a very in-depth feeling from them. You can really see the power behind them. I just wanted to show you that I wanted to wait to use this deck until this section because they are, like I said, in between. Um, but they're a really cool deck. You can definitely see how adding these could bring a little bit of light, love and light to your readings.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, by the way, for anybody that got distracted by me rolling around in the chair for a second. I was trying to gather some things for the end. Okay, so additional decks. Sort of what Cheyenne was touching on is these are decks of cards where I wouldn't really consider them booster cards. I wouldn't really consider them oracle cards. I definitely don't consider them tarot cards, and I have no freaking clue what kind of cards they are. So we put them in additional decks. Like for instance, this deck we got empowerment cards, and I even like Googled this deck, and short of just saying it's a deck of cards, it doesn't tell me anything. But for instance, this is what the cards look like. Here's one. It just says appreciate the obstacle, and then it gives you information on appreciating the obstacle. So see, this weirdly reminds me of tarot cards, and this weirdly reminds me of oracle cards, but it's not really either. So that's where we put them in the additional decks. But yes, this little empowerment deck of cards is pretty nice. And then, let me not make a mess. Here's another one. We have the Mastery of Love. And this one, once again, it has a picture with a quote, and then it dives more into it on the back. This one has some like Christian points of view in it, only on like a couple of the cards, and then the rest of them are very much so a different vibe. I just dropped them, but they don't really, like I said, they don't really fit into either category. So I'm a mess over here, but that's okay. So then with also additional decks, I would talk about homemade decks. So whether you're making your own tarot cards, whether you're making your own oracle cards, affirmation, whatever the heck you're making, you can use like regular playing cards, pieces of paper, literally like cardboard, whatever you wanted theoretically, and you could make your own deck.
I would love to learn how to make my own deck. If anybody has ideas that you could sprout my way with my artistic creativity brewing in my brain, that would be awesome.
They sell blank playing cards, so that's what I would recommend. Like they sell whole decks of just blank playing cards, and you can do whatever you want.
I need to fake.
I'm gonna have blank cards for if you like lose a card of your deck, so you can get whatever back you want with a blank card, or you can get blank on both sides and draw your back and draw your front. That's like a really nice way to like, yeah. See, Catherine said you can buy blank decks on Amazon. But
Amazon
yeah,
is my best friend.
but like a budget friendly way, or if you're like in the broom closet, you can do it on paper. You can just make yourself little paper cards. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. But if you want to do something nice, you could. I would love to create my own deck someday to sell, but I am not artsy. I do not draw that well, but I like drawing.
I love drawing. It's my favorite thing to do. I also want to say when it comes to additional decks, let's not forget additional tarot decks.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say at the end. Yeah.
The only other tarot deck I have right now is my Nightmare Before Christmas deck. I know if you go back in previous tarot lives, I have shown this deck numerous times. That is my baby deck. That is my
Do you
favorite
also
deck.
have this deck?
Yes, I will get to that.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering.
So,
Yeah, additional decks. At the end, when we're talking about use for our partnership, you can use an additional tarot deck for that. It doesn't have to be a different kind.
this is the back of them. Here's the imagery. If you are a Nightmare Before Christmas fan like
Pull your
myself,
phone up like 1 inch, and then we'll be able to see more of the cards.
Sorry.
Fabulous. There we go.
You-
No, it's okay. I figured you would rather me tell you than watch it back and be like, dang, I didn't show the cards.
Yeah, I do
Ooh,
appreciate
that
it.
one's pretty. I like
This
that.
one? Oh,
That one
this
and
is
the
the
one behind
devil.
the Oogie Boogie is so cute. That one's nice too.
This one's the sun. And you can see when you add different decks that the imagery is going to give you a different shift, a different vibe. Because if you look, give me a second. This is my Nightmare Before Christmas deck. This is my main deck.
Is that where I found my gun?
Most people who have had me in any partnership thus far has seen this deck. Bear with me.
Oh, we're zooming around.
Yeah, I dropped you in my lap.
I got the 8 of Swords from that one, so I'll show that one card. I got you.
Don't mind the fact that, of course, the card that I pull happens to be the one that my dog ate.
Hey, he was putting his lucky energy into that card.
But, if you bear with me a moment so I don't mix everything together tonight, it's the last thing I want to deal
Cheyenne
with.
has to go through every deck she owns because she mixed them all.
I will be really sad because I still need to complete your read.
I'll be sad too.
You'll be like, are you ever gonna get it done?
That's why I
Maybe.
started rolling around, so I was grabbing my other tarot cards. I was like,
Okay.
I'll grab these.
Here we go. So, like I said, anybody who has had a read from me in the group, this is the deck you'll probably see because this is my main deck. This is my baby. And it's the deck that I was told from my deck and the universe that this deck is meant to be with me from the beginning to the end of my journey. So, I use this deck a lot.
This is the same card from Cheyenne's deck. And then these are random cards. These are not my decks of cards. These are random ones that I have been gifted. So I will show these ones real quick. And then I'll show the decks that I actually have.
I have, I think, two.
That is
Well,
one of the...
one tarot
I
card
have...
when I was going through them.
You're good. I have 2 decks, Carol, and one of mine is that. So those are the random ones that I have. Like I said, I keep every card that I get. And then my babies, my cards, is the OG. I keep it in this little baggy do. Let me grab them. I'm doing this one-handed. I'm a professional.
It's better than me.
And once again, my cards smell delectable like pineapple. Some of the cards are a little rough, but that's because these are my babies. Peeking in to catch a few minutes. Well, we're glad to see you. Yeah, see, this is the OG deck As you can see, my cards are all finagly. But that's what this one looks like. Pretty classic. All right, let me slide these out of the way. We're gonna get that one-handed professional skills back on. Dude, I did that so much better with one hand than I thought I would. Look at that. Wow.
This is another one that was gifted to me.
Okay, so I have those. These are the only two actual like full sets of tarot cards that I have, and then I have the love deck in the empowerment deck. Those are the only decks I have, and I will explain why Uno is there in a minute. I'm not just playing Uno in the background, but this is the
deck.
This is the Lightseer Tarot deck. Every time I show this, I'll say thank you, Ellen, so much. This one also has a little quote on the inside, and into the gray we follow like 1,000 flickering stars, and there in a sunlit hollow we lose and find what is ours. So, sorry, I was reading that through the camera lens, making it harder for myself than I needed to. But that's this deck, and this one is beautiful.
It is. It is stunning.
Let me we're just gonna, with a flick of the wrist, we're gonna hit it like this.
The imagery and the coloration to those cards are just stunning.
Oh yeah, I love these. Dude, this is going better than I thought it would. Woohoo! Alright, so those are the tarot cards. And then, so the reason I have those Uno cards right here, was so that way, if let's say you need to make a homemade deck, you can use Uno cards. And then the back looks like Uno cards. So let's say you're in the broom closet and you're just casually carrying around a deck of Uno. Nobody's gonna suspect the wiser. It's just Uno. And that's a really great way to make cards. Like I said, if you just need something quick, you could use those. So that's why I had those there. I'm hopping into cartomancy. So gonna try to move along so we're not keeping you for forever, but also cartomancy is kind of a big one, so we're gonna be diligent with it. So unlike tarot, cartomancy uses a 52 deck, or 54 if you want to use the 2 joker cards, which is optional, not everybody does that, and playing cards opposed to the 78 tarot card deck. And it does not consist of major arcana cards, the court cards, the royal cards. So using a regular deck of playing cards. I don't have any fancy ones, I don't have any pretty ones, but here's a blue one and here's a black one. So regular playing cards. I do have these 2 tiny ones though, if that counts for something, because I collect playing cards. I also have some Alice in Wonderland playing cards, but I'm not cool, and I left them in my craft room and I'm not getting them. But I only have like 2 because someone sent me in the mail, but I didn't know that there was Alice in Wonderland playing cards, and I'm obsessed.
Now I need those.
I also have 1 Alice in Wonderland tarot card because someone sent me one, and I was gobsmacked. I was like, dude, that's all I needed. Thank you. Okay, so here's a basic understanding of cartomancy that's fairly universal. So I'm going to try to say this as straightforward as possible. This is not the end-all be-all of cartomancy. If you don't know anything about it, I highly recommend doing some research to look into it. So here's a pretty basic understanding. There's 52 cards. The 52 cards can be used to represent the 52 weeks in the year. It does not have to be used for that, but if you're doing a reading time-wise, then they can be used like that. There are also 13 cards in each suit, and there are 13 lunar months and 13 weeks in each quarter. So if you're doing things like, again, date-wise and time-wise, then that is pretty standard. There are 4 suits. There are also 4 seasons in the year. There are 12 court cards, and there's 12 calendar months, and there's also 12 signs of the zodiac. And by I mean court cards, I mean Queen, King, and Jack cards. And so that's also pretty standard if you're doing something with seasons, or if you're doing something with calendar month, or something with zodiac, then that's pretty referenceable to use. Court cards, these guys. And all right, so then hearts would be emotions. Cups, it can also be the cups from tarot, but like I said, emotions, love. And hearts can also be tied to the water element. With spades are usually bad, negative, evil, not good luck, sickness, death, loss, etc. Tied with the air element. Clubs are usually good, references to happy omens, fate, yeah.
Sorry, no,
Fate, life lessons.
Like the clothes were on their way, they just showed up.
Oh, I'm glad. I was like, dude, did I say something horribly wrong?
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Yeah, it's okay. So clubs are usually good, a happy omen, fate, life lessons, important messages. These are wands and tied to the fire element. And then diamonds are usually physical, financial, career, money, material. This is tied to pentacles and the earth element. And obviously that's just pretty like standard for what it is. You could really get into it and argue whether you wanted to use it a different way. If you were to do something non-traditional, I ain't gonna argue with you. But that's like the standard for if you're gonna find it. And there's a lot of book references. There's a lot of online references. I encourage you to look because there's many different ways to read, just like you find with tarot, just like you find with oracle. I will say there's a really old book from like the 1912 that I did find that there's a whole PDF version online that you can read. It's called Fortune Telling Cards by Professor P.R.S. Full. I'm not going to say that that's the best book ever. I have not read the whole thing, but I will say that it was published in 1912 and you can read the whole thing online for free. So if it's complete trash, you didn't pay any money for it. But I will say that it could be a nice little introduction or just give you questions to ask. Or you could be like, that's crap. I'm going to research something different. So who knows? You could find something helpful, you could not. But now that I've explained sort of what it is, why would we use it with tarot? Like we said with everything else, combining it with tarot could either allow it to hone in on specific things mentioned in your tarot reading, or reversed, you could add tarot cards to your cartomancy reading to open the horizons or expand in some different direction. Because with cartomancy, usually it's a little bit more straightforward. Obviously, it could not be. Like, there could be people that are like fandibbly-tablets at reading it and go more in depth. But I see it a lot that it's a lot more straightforward and direct. Some people with reading styles have individual reading, like meaning for each card, just like traditional tarot has a meaning for each card specifically. These ones are just usually a little like shorter and to the point. But then, like I said, that's only if you follow that tradition of reading, because there's different ways. But there are multiple reading styles similar to tarot, how there's the classic Rider-Waite deck versus other ones. And location and cultures and different practices will cause a difference in readings. Cartomancy, like I said, can be very like math and science and like rule based, and it could also go in with astrology and weeks of the year. There are multiple books that will tell you different meanings for what each individual card means. And there's no issues with that, but you have to be careful with that because you could find a website and think that this is the traditional meaning because they say it is, but they could be false labeling and it could not be that. So you have to sort of look out for that. But some non-traditional, you can make your own. You could do some non-traditional reading styles with cartomancy paired with tarot. Like, for instance, you could use 2 decks of regular cards to have multiple. You could use 2 decks just to snatch out a couple of the cards and make major arcana cards for these. You could use number 10. I see a lot of people use number 10 as a page card because of the similarities between the 9 and 10 tarot card. When using these as tarot cards, some people will use 10 as the page card instead of the 10. And then also with adding in the jokers, some people use the joker cards as 2 fools, one being a positive and one being a negative. And then some people could also use it one being a fool and then one being the world card, so the beginning and the end. Like I said, whatever you want. I would say a really easy way, if you're doing cartomancy and you're including tarot, could be with yes or no questions if you're less familiar, because let's say you do a yes or no tarot question and you want to add in the cards, that could be a really simple way to try it. So if I want to do like a yes or no like card reading with my tarot cards, and then let's say I wanted to use these just to double down on my message, then there's a couple different ways that you can do yes or no readings. There's definitely more than I'm about to say, but these are the most basic. There's like a 10 card where you go 10, you deal 7 cards, and then the last 3 you flip over upright, and then you do it with those, with black being no and red being yes, and then you start with looking at color, and then you can dive deeper into the meaning. So that's when the tarot cards really come into help if you're doing a yes or no, because this could straight up say no, and then you're like, okay, well, why? And then this could really like expand in onto that. And then an example with a different type of cartomancy deck is I found one that is basically a combination of cartomancy and oracle, and it's called, the name of the deck is called the Hoodoo Divination Cards, La Carte de Divination, because it's French, but it's cartomancy cards tied with like hoodoo practice, and the reason those are done like that is so that way you could read your regular cartomancy, and then it has like a specific thing that's tied into it. Like it could be a spell jar, or it could be like a practice, or like a phase or something that's like giving that oracle-esque to combine the two. But that's my cartomancy spiel. And if you don't know anything about cartomancy, I could see that being a little confusing. So if you don't know anything about it, I would just not try to overwhelm yourself with it, because cartomancy is a freaking beast of a thing. But if you know about it, it could be fun to tie into tarot. I'm gonna need a breather, so you go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I was pulling out a deck.
Do you have anything to say about that? And then you're on fire.
Give me one moment.
Try and zoom in. Whenever Cheyenne comes back, she's going to hit the recap of cartomancy, and then we will fly into a little recap overall, and then we'll hit our next partnership. We're almost done.
Sorry, guys. As she pretty well hit the nail on the head on cartomancy, because I don't know that much about it. But I did want to touch base that, like, as you had heard what numbers are being used and what cards are being used. If you don't want to use a full playing deck, you can always use just the regular Yucker deck, the ones that are actually separated down to a T. This is the deck that I have in front of me.
Oh, I totally didn't say that, but while we're looking at her cards, you see all that white room? If you're learning, you can write stuff down. So you can write down like what you feel like this card means, or like the vibe of this card, or anything about the card, so that way when you're pulling it, you can kind of create your own learner deck, so that way you don't have to have everything up in here.
Yep. You don't have to keep everything in your head. That goes with any deck. If you feel the need to write down your thoughts on the deck, that's perfectly fine. It's your deck.
Same thing.
Remember that.
You can scribble in those things.
I can't vandalize a book to save my life.
Oh, I love analyzing. Girl, if you send me a piece of something.
No, like, I can't vandalize them. I cannot physically put any
you said
in a book.
vandalize. If the book is not worth anything, then I'll do it. But if it's worth something, then I won't. But I'm gentle with it. I don't like throw them like around. Like I'm nice with it. But okay, so I hit a recap of why we could include additional divinations to tarot, and that is just deepening and furthering your reading, gaining more connection to information. Starting with other decks and card types is an easy point to start adding in different divinations and show how they work together, because it's like you're just doing a card with a card. It's could be a little easier than pairing in like runes or something for later on. So that's like a nice little starting point overall. And if anybody has any questions or any like thing that they want us to talk about in the future or whatever that you want to pop into chat, we'll totally see it. And hey Giselle, we're glad to catch you. We're pausing for questions, and then we're going to zoom into our next partnership. So you're here for the good bit. Do you want to hit it with that, or do you want me to?
Well, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time, give them a few moments, and then I'll take over.
Sounds good. Dude, I keep losing that for others.
All right.
Most of my decks are purchased solely for the art. I would say connecting to the way that your deck looks is definitely a big thing. If you hate the way your deck looks, that might suck.
That is I've picked every one of my decks is the imagery. I have to feel a connection through the imagery. All right. If there is no questions, comments, or concerns, we are going to move forward, and I want to make sure we stop now and add the secret word so that I don't forget it this time.
Yeah. You'll need the secret word if you are doing the tarot partnership program. You'll have to put it into the Google form. Do not type the secret word in chat. This is the only time we'll say it in the video. Please, please, please do not type it in chat. Your comment will be instantly deleted and I'll have a sad face.
Please do not post it on this video in the comments in any way, shape, or form. Do not post it on the partnership comments. Please, 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 just make sure you don't say it anywhere.
It's just for the form, for signing up to know you watched this beautiful video. Go ahead. You can hit it with questions even if we're talking. You can put those in there. Oh, and if you watch the recap, you can throw in questions. We both read the comments like religiously, so we will see it. Yeah, the overall feel, like the energy that comes from the cards, yeah, you have to being able to like connect to it, feel it's fine.
That's why I love my metaphysical cannabis deck.
We're slowly getting more of your face, like occasionally, like becoming like the full screen.
Do you have to go on camera to the person you're reading for, like face-to-face type? No. You can do a face-to-face video call. You can do a video of you doing it on YouTube. You can do just a type.
Yeah, you can just type out your reading. You can take a picture of your cards and then type that crap out. You could do a voice memo.
Voice text.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to show your face on the readings. I personally am that person that does not show their face, but I don't mind if you hear my voice.
Can you voice? Yeah, so you can do a voice memo. You can do literally a video with just your voice. Any way that you could think to share your reading virtually to your partner, you can do it, as long as it's within the time frame. You can make them a PowerPoint presentation if you want to. Beth, your mom says she's confused.
Are you confused? How are you confused? How can we help you?
I'm gonna grab my cards so that way I can do an example reading of our partnership, because people ask, and I know you don't like reading on the spot, so I'll do it.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, so some people don't necessarily, like, for instance, Cheyenne does not really like reading on the spot. It gives me horrific anxiety, but I have anxiety doing everything, so that's fine. I don't mind doing it. But yeah, so you can do the reading however you want. But so I'm going to explain what the partnership is for anybody that hasn't seen any partnership while we wait to see what's going on in the chat. So basically the partnership is we will give you a prompt, and then you will have a certain amount of time. You'll be randomly paired up with a person. We'll randomly pair you up, text you on Messenger the name. You just have to let us know that you got it by saying, okay, thumbs up, something, letting us know you got it. And then you and your partner will communicate over Messenger, and you will provide one reading for them about the prompt, and they will provide one reading for you about the prompt in any method that you would like to provide it, whether that be face-to-face video call or simply typing or whatever you would like. And then you will have a good amount of time to complete this reading, and then you will give them feedback on their reading. They will give you feedback on yours. So it is simply one reading and one feedback. And then at the end of all of the partnership, we will send a short Google form just so you can give us feedback. So that way we know what you think about the reading, because it all matters about what you guys think. So there's not that much required. It doesn't take that much time to do so. Honestly, watching this live is the most time-consuming part, I think. So if anybody has any more questions, you can totally pop them in there. But if Cheyenne wants to explain, like, sort of some background before we say the prompt. Beth said, okay, like if you're using all of the other cards along with the tarot cards, do you pull the same amount of other cards as you did the tarot cards? So many questions. That's all up to you. I would say to not pull the same amount when you're first starting, to not confuse yourself. But if you feel called to pull multiple, you can. But you can just use them as clarifying. Like if I did a tarot reading and then I want to add affirmation cards, I might only want to add one or maybe two, just to not like muddle things. But if I'm pulling tarot cards and oracle cards, and just for some reason I feel like every tarot card needs a supporting oracle card, then I can do so. That just might be a little confusing. It's just whatever you feel called to do. There's not really a right or wrong way to do it, if that makes sense.
When adding additional decks, if you are not used to adding additional decks, this is something new to you, I personally recommend pulling one or two to start. Don't pull more. But as Sarah had said, it is completely and utterly up to you and what you decide. It is all intuitionally based, as I always go back to. Follow your intuition, follow your heart, follow your mind. As we are going into this month's theme, and feel free to keep asking your questions. We'll keep answering them as we go.
We're just talking about the partnership, but you can literally hit any questions and we'll answer them as they come up.
For this next partnership, I'm thinking about the changing of the seasons, how we're coming into fall. And when I'm thinking about coming into fall, I'm thinking about going to pumpkin patches and doing hay rides and really starting to connect to my ancestors and feeling the pull and the opening of the veil and how things are starting to not be as closed. And when I'm thinking of these things, I'm thinking about what should I know about this coming season and how the season is going to change for me and what I really want to know about the upcoming season change. There's a lot going on for me personally this coming fall, so there's a lot of exciting and upbeat things coming my way, and I thought that this was something that we should really touch base on. And let's not forget the two biggest upcoming holidays for the fall, Mabon and Samhain. September is Mabon 1st, so I'm going to let it up to you, and you can touch base on that.
All right, so talking about Mabon a little bit on the Wheel of the Year, which obviously you do not have to, not everybody does the holidays of the Wheel of the Year, so, but it is something to go into with how Cheyenne was discussing, like the changing of the seasons and fall coming in and stuff like that. With people that do celebrate Mabon, that is this is the time of the year for that, and it is acknowledging like the year before and what's ahead, appreciating the warmth and the harvest smartly, because you have to also ration for. Back in the day, you'd be rationing for the rest of winter during the cold season. So while preparing for the cold and the hardships, appreciating what one has while still pushing onwards. Seeing like what you have had versus what you need to gather to where you want to go. It's also a moment of pause and stillness for appreciation and gratuity, abundance, gathering. It's finding that perfect balance between light and dark, not only in the physical reality as the amount of light and darkness is changing, it's also trying to find balance in your life and spiritually. Also, just the naturalness of the earthly cycles, appreciating the cycles of the earth and just the changes and being in tune with that. And then just overall appreciating what has happened, having that thankfulness, and then looking onward to what is to come. And this really transitions to our prompt.
So that brings us to what our prompt is for this partnership program. Our prompt for this theme, this month, sorry guys, is what does your partner need to know going into the fall season?
That simple question. Just what does your partner need to know going into the fall season?
Also, sunflower is your secret word. Before it was forgotten.
That was almost. We said this is the only time we're going to say it, and I don't think we are bad at that. That's okay. Yeah, so that's the secret word. We heard it. I'm going to say it one more time for reference so we know. It is sunflower. Sunflower. Imagine if I spelled it wrong. That would have been embarrassing.
I definitely would have laughed.
You would have just roasted me.
Yes, I would have.
I interrupted. Sorry, I said that earlier. I interrupted though with my question.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
it's
good.
okay. It's okay. We got distracted, but we circled back. So that's the prompt. That is it.
Now,
That's all that's required for the partnership. That's the question.
an additional challenge.
Not
If you
required.
not required, not required, but if you have any additional decks that like we had talked about, any of those types, whether it's homemade, different oracle, the cartomancy cards, tarot cards, whatever it is, if you have any of them, we are encouraging you to incorporate them in this read,
You do not.
as it will help you learn and put forth the knowledge that we just provided to you as well. But it is not required. Da-da-da-da. Not required.
Yeah, so our theme question is just what does your partner need to know going into this fall season? So you can just do that with a simple little reading that you want. You can do it however you would like, non-traditional, whatever style you want. If you would like to create your own spread, you can. If you want to just pull to your heart's content, you can. And then if you want to try that additional challenge, you can, but you don't have to. We want to make it very accessible.
Just make sure that you are pulling at least 3 cards to give an idea and a little bit of to your read. That's the only and main requirement that I ask.
Carol said, so you can use tarot and oracle and a booster. Yes. So
Yes.
you can do the question with just tarot cards, but if you would like to incorporate any of those cards that we talked about, other tarot cards, other oracles, then you can. That we encourage that. So if you do not want to do that additional step, there's just that regular prompt question. But if you would like to add those in, yes, this is the reading to add those in. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them.
Our partnership signups will be dropped tonight as soon as this live ends. The sign up ends on the 19th at midnight. The names will go out on the 20th, and then you'll have from August 20th to September 3rd to complete your read, 1 read per person, per partner. And then the feedback form will be due on the 6th.
All of those dates will be put on the sign up post, so you don't have to remember them. But yes, we are going to have the signups. Cheyenne's going to post them as soon as this live is done. They're going to be up all weekend. And then on the 19th, at the end of the night, around midnight, that's when it's going to close. The names, we'll get them out to you on the 20th. As soon as you get your name, you can start reading it. The partnership will be open from the 20th of August, yes, Carol, to the 3rd of September. So that provides you, I think, isn't that 14 days, 2 weeks? 2 weeks to complete your reading, so that's plenty of time. And then you'll be added to a group chat if you're doing the partnership. So then on the 6th, we'll send you a Google form just so you can give feedback on how your reading went and anything you would like us to change. And that form does not take long. It's a super quick form. So yes, sign-ups end on the 19th. Names go out on the 20th. 20th through the 3rd of September is when it's going to go through. And feedback form will be due on the 6th. And the prompt question is, what does your partner need to know going into the fall season? And if you would like to, but not required, we encourage you to add any additional paper divinations, card divinations.
The partnership signups actually have been posted. I just posted them.
All right, so you guys can continue to ask any questions. Cheyenne will hit you with answers. I'm going to start doing an example reading. I'm going to do a really simple, so it's going to be a 3 cards, and I will show you for what does Cheyenne need to know going into the fall season. So I don't want to do that one because it's kind of big, so I'm just going to do what does Cheyenne need to know going into this next week because it's the exact same style. So I'm going to pull these cards. My style is shuffling, so let's see what Miss Cheyenne needs. Also, this live goes towards my lives for the month of August. Yes, it does. All right, we got 1 card so far. Come on, deck, give me some more cards.
Will this will go towards the lives for the month of August? Yes, that is correct, Carol. This live will go towards the lives for August.
And you've definitely commented more than 3 times, so you've got it. All right, so we got 3 cards for Cheyenne. So the
Hello,
first,
Alyssa.
you said, huh?
Oh, I said hello to Alyssa.
Oh, okay. I almost just swiped out of the live. That would have sucked. So for card number 1, I got the 9 of Pentacles reversed for Cheyenne. And the next card, I got Judgment face up, so that's better than last time. Last time we had it reversed. Yes, I do. If I give you a reading, I will play off your last reading. Like, I remember your cards. I know. I pay attention. I got it. I promise it 100 times. We love it. And then the last card is like the reversed King of Wands. Okay, so with Cheyenne, we're gonna go. Got the 9 of Pentacles in reversed. So this is talking about like you need like a balance. Like I think your work life is like crushing you. To be honest, your work life is like destroying you. You're like feeling like alone, pretty overwhelmed. There's a lot more pressure. Things have to be successful. You're trying to be happy. You're trying to reach for that bird, but like you're just like getting like demolished by work. And
You
then
are killing me with these, don't you?
the Judgment. Sorry. My readings are brutal. They're honest. And then we have the Judgment, but we're going up this time. So like we had that self-realization. We realized that we were pushing ourselves too hard. But we know that we're about to be lifted up. And we know that's coming in September. We know. We got it. We're working there. We're cooking. We're getting there. It just takes a little time. And then let's see. Next we have our King of Swords. But it was a reverse. Let me not switch it on accident. So this one is maybe talking about like a tendency to be like controlling. And you need to like, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, Cheyenne.
Just throw it at me.
I think this is saying that while work is overloading you, you're also sort of like overloading yourself. You're like trying to like control everything and like everything's happening and you're trying to like literally like balance like 67 plates and like carry everything and do everything. And while yes, you are a fierce leader, you know, sometimes you have to let a little trust that the things are going to work out and you don't have to like manhandle them into place because they will happen. So I'm sensing that you might be trying to like force it to happen a little aggressively, and I think that's what this card is getting. So maybe take a step back, have a nice little relaxing night, understand that things will happen, the dress will get there, things will work. Like, so yeah, I think once you stop piling everything onto yourself and like smothering yourself with your life basically that's going on, then things will get better. And that's pretty much what your card reading said. So there's an example of what your card reading could look like.
Are we using an app for meanings? No, we are going straight by your intuitional thoughts. You can use the apps. I'm not going to discredit anybody for wanting to use the book meanings or app meanings for the books or any of those scenarios. It is perfectly fine. I know I have in my Book of Shadows, I keep the brief.
There was a big thunder outside. Oh my god.
Yeah, we have a storm coming in here too. But I actually keep like a brief ideology of the meanings to each of the cards in there. Sometimes I might just need a reference to them because I am getting too much information and I can't focus it, and sometimes that extra meaning might help a little. Again, I don't discredit the book meanings. You can use the book meanings as Sarah showed you.
I zoomed off to go grab a book really quick because this is not a book that I like. I don't usually use it, but no, you can. When I started reading cards, I originally started reading cards purely intuition based and I didn't use the meanings. And then I eventually decided, you know what, I should probably like learn the meanings. So I did look into them. But yeah, this book is a nice reference. It goes over a lot of different things, and then if you go all the way to the back, it does say different meanings. And this is like base for like the Rider-Waite cards, but also most decks of cards, like I pulled this one out of here, comes with a little guidebook. And so let's say, let me open up. 9 of Wands. That would have been so cool if it had been one from your reading. I would have literally like kicked my feet. So this shows like the upright and then the reversed, and then it gives like a whole thing about it, and then it gives you like a quote. So if you like are struggling, you can always use this. What I would recommend when when you're reading, if you're having a hard time, you're just starting out, is let's say I pulled this card right here. Let me flip it over. Cheyenne's card, Judgment. I would look at this card and I would intuitionally read this. And then if I needed to, like, get that confidence, then I could look into the book. But the thing is if you read it and it's 1,000% different from the book, you're going to be like, oh shit, I'm so wrong. It has to be the book. But I would say to not think that. And if your thing is completely different from the book and you're feeling lack confidence, look somewhere in the middle if you want. I would say to purely go with your intuition, but if you want to tie into that book, find the middle. Don't feel like this is exactly what it is. I hope that answered your question. And thank you. I like reading people's energy necessarily. Like I like doing like divination readings without necessarily the cards. Like I could just peep into Cheyenne's peepers and I could give her like a reading or something, but that wouldn't have been very helpful to everybody else. But so I hope that example reading helps. I know a lot of people were asking for those. And then like I said, when you do the partnership, there's a group chat that you're placed in that you can ask any of those ladies a question. You can comment questions on this video, we'll answer them. You could message me and I will answer you probably immediately because I have no life. And Cheyenne will get to you if you message her. We will answer them. Thanks, Sarah. How long have you been reading tarot? I started reading tarot cards when I was, I think like 15 or 16. I'm 22. I just turned 22 this year, so nice.
I think that's about when I started reading.
Yeah, I could tell energetically you're spinning a lot of plates.
Yeah.
Yes. She's like got those sticks going on. There's like those plates. But we have definitely been live for
the best way I can describe how I feel in my life right now is the moment in Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat when he's sitting on
Dude, that's a good movie.
It is. And he's
it's on Netflix.
The unicycle and has all of those things on top of him, and he's holding everything, trying not to drop it all. Yeah, that is how I feel with my life right now.
On the plus side, that movie's on Netflix if anybody wants to watch it. Side note. But that, I feel like that's about everything. That's our new program, and yeah, I feel like we really got it. Sorry to anybody watching the replay that this is such a long live, but the vibes are immaculate. We're here for you. So if you made it to the end, like Preach, thank you for making it this way.
Thank you for making it to the end with all of our babbles.
All right. If you have any questions after we're done with the live, you can put them on the post or you can message either one of us. It is just fine. I've been reading since 36. I'm almost 40. Nice.
Awesome. And like I had said, if you guys did not catch it, I did post the partnership program up on the main page. So after this live ends, please feel free to go sign up. You have from now until Monday. And if there is no more questions or you guys just need time to sort through your questions, that is fine, and I will leave it at that. You guys have a blessed weekend, an amazing night.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Blessed be, ladies.